Steve Wood. I often ask myself, what do the top Scientology executives do in the hole on a daily basis? Back in the day, they were the top people within Scientology, and now they're reduced to what? I don't know, but it would seem that they have been totally relegated to nobodies. So at what point do you believe that they feel on a daily basis that they are still saving the planet? Surely they can't really believe they're fighting the good fight when they look back at what happened to them. Please let me know what these people do each day and how they can reconcile their lives with saving the planet. Or are they just waiting for LRH to return so they can tell him what an awful person David Miscavige is? The entire thing sounds totally nuts to me anyway, but as always, I am fascinated to hear your take on this topic. Thanks for the question, Steve. So, okay, a few things. Obviously, I've never been in the hole. So my speaking or talking, but I have been on the RPF. Okay, so, which is, pretty much as bad in some ways, not as bad in other ways. So all I can really talk about is my own understanding of the mindset that goes on, when you're enduring this kind of abuse, and why you would continue to stick with it. And it's not a matter that, I've talked about how Scientologists believe, especially Sea Org members believe, that their daily actions are bringing about a bettered world and that they are saving the planet. But that doesn't mean that every time a Scientologist a Sea Org member who's a cook, is making omelets, that he's thinking, oh, these omelets are saving the world. I mean, they have the grind just like everybody else does. Many Sea Org members don't like their jobs, don't particularly like what they're doing, but they show up to work anyway because they've dedicated to the purpose of it and they feel a duty and sense of honor and all that kind of stuff. And it's just they don't really have much of a choice anyway because they're in the Sea Org. So this is the work you're doing. This is the way it is. This is just the environment. And the culture is the way that it is, and most Sea Org members don't like the culture. They think it kind of sucks. It's very oppressive. But this is what they have been reading from L. Ron Hubbard and hearing from their seniors and from David Miscavige. This is the kind of environment that they are told is necessary to maintain a level of discipline where things will get done effectively and in enough volume that they will be making impingement on the world at large, and they will end up driving into the, making headway into society, changing society, and changing the world as a result. So everything kind of adds up in the big picture, even though if you're only looking at the little picture of your life on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't really look that sexy or wonderful or exciting. But the big picture is what everybody is kind of there for. That all being said, I can only imagine what people who have been relegated to the hole for years on end are thinking, but I don't think that they think that being in the hole is particularly saving the planet. They think that everybody else in Scientology and the Sea Org are the ones who are actually constructively helping to save the planet. They are so out ethics, they have gotten into such deep trouble and hot water that they've been pushed to the side and have to fix themselves so that they can get back in the fight. Maybe they kind of think of themselves as being in a bit of a big, huge pit stop or a big rehabilitation effort. And this is very similar to the mindset in the RPF. When you go there, you are a broken person, a broken Sea Org member. You have done things that the group has told you are criminal, traitorous, treasonous to the Sea Org, treasonous to mankind, and you believe it. So you go there in a very sort of prison mindset that you deserve this work that you're going to have to now do in order to fix yourself so you can get back in the game. And if that takes years, okay. I mean, it's not any fun. Nobody enjoys it. But if that's what it takes to get through it so you can get back in the big game and get back, then that's what you're going to do. Because what else are you going to do? Are you going to go out and live in the WOG world? Are you going to go out and live, a life of materialism and be denied any ability to contribute in any way and just go off and be a degraded being? Because that's what L. Ron Hubbard says. If you leave the Sea Org, you're a degraded being. And it sounds as bad as it is. It's a degraded, you're just a scumbag. You're the lowest of the low. And again, all Sea Org members are Scientologists first. So in the world of Scientology, the Sea Org is a small subset of the bigger world of Scientology. But if you leave the Sea Org, you don't want to leave Scientology too, but you basically will be if you just go off and be a degraded being. So there's this mind trap. All of this is a mind trap. I'm not describing this as though this is a logical, rational system that really makes a lot of sense. This is the walls and ceilings and floors of the prison of belief. This is where people get themselves to, as they believe that if they leave, their life will be even more useless than it is now. At least staying in the hole or staying in the RPF is staying on the path to redemption. And if you leave that, you've really lost everything. And of course, there are many people who end up in these positions, especially those in the hole, who have been declared suppressive people. So it's not like they can leave the Sea Org and go join the public Scientology group and continue as Scientologists. They will be declared. They have already been declared. And the actions they're doing are what they think they need to do in order to get undeclared. And this is all done by David Miscavige personally to these previous senior top executives. They're all declared suppressive. So there is no other place for them to go as far as they're concerned. I hope all this makes sense. It's twisted, it's disgusting. It is the very definition of the control that David Miscavige uses to exert over, to lord over these people and, or lord over them, I guess I should say, and control them and control their life, right? And they think that if they continue long enough, if they make up the damage, if they are, sorry enough and demonstrate their sorriness by doing everything that's asked of them, by reporting on others who are maybe not, disaffected and not wanting to be part of this anymore, if they tell on them, right, and try to curry favor with Miscavige, somehow they'll get themselves out of this position. And Mike Rinder talked about how he realized when he was in that situation and then he got sent out to the UK to do some PR work that was supposed to be part of his making up the damage that he had done. I mean, he was sent out there with the idea that he was going to come back. And he agreed that he was going to come back. And I'm sure when he left, he was thinking he was going to come back, but something snapped and he went, oh my God, I've had enough. I can't take this anymore. This is insane. That's when the prison of belief opens up, the doors, open up, the light shines, and they are now free from that prison. So everybody's got their breaking point as to when they're going to snap out of it. But the reason they stay in it are, as far as I can tell, all the reasons I've laid out here. And everything I've ever talked about with motivated reasoning, cognitive dissonance, and all the other things that go on in your head or in people's heads when they are in these prisons of belief is all fully applicable to these people in these situations. They are buried in cognitive dissonance. They are overwhelmed by motivated reasoning. They're very intelligent people, and that intelligence is being used to rationalize why they deserve what they're getting. That's what belief, that's the power that the belief has. So I don't know. I hope that all makes sense, and that's the best answer I can give you, Steve. So there you go.